What is up, Cowboy Nation? Dallas fan 1997 here, guys. Hope you all are having a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving, spending time with your loved ones. I know I am. And so, just wanted to get that out there before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Big game for the Dallas Cowboys today, man. Cowboys are 5-5-1, playing at home against Kansas City, who is 6-5. Both teams are desperately needing this win. Kansas City's trying to stay in the hunt for their division and for the playoffs, while the Cowboys do have a bit more of an uphill battle to climb for the division. I mean, we're still in that race too, and we're also going to be fighting for our playoff lives. And it's a big game. You know, Kansas City 6-5, Cowboys 5-5-1. Both just beat teams that were the number one seed in each conference. The Eagles were 8-2 before they got beat by my Dallas Cowboys last Sunday. The Indianapolis Colts were 8-2 before they got beat by Kansas City in overtime last Sunday. So both teams are coming off of big wins against good football teams, and both teams are looking for a win. So it's going to be a very big game. Obviously, you know, we all know Patrick Mahomes was a big Dallas Cowboys fan growing up. So this is big for him. First time he's ever played at AT&T Stadium. Post Malone, who lives in my home state of Utah now, also a diehard Cowboys fan, going to be doing the halftime show today. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting game. You know, there's a lot of definitely entertainment purposes. It's going to be interesting for sure. Keys to the game. I mean, the Cowboys have got to be better on offense. Last week, we did end up getting the win against Philadelphia. That was huge, but there was just way too many times the Dallas Cowboys were sloppy. They looked like they'd been out partying the night before. You know, CeeDee Lamb was dropping tons of passes. Cavante Turpin fumbled. Dak Prescott threw a bad interception. He honestly could have thrown a couple more, but he got lucky. But the offense is going to have to be smoother. I think that today, Schottenheimer's got to go away from the being pass happy inside the red zone. Do I think he's going to do that? Probably not. Or I don't know if it's Brian Schottenheimer doing that or if it's Dak. But whoever's calling the plays and changing it to pass plays, got to stop. Dallas Cowboys need to run the ball inside the red zone today if we want to have a chance against the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs, a lot of people don't talk about this, but the Chiefs are a little bit better than the Philadelphia Eagles defensively. The Eagles' defense this year overall has been, you know, middle of the pack to slightly above average. Kansas City's got a good defense, man. Their defense is actually a lot better statistically speaking than the Eagles. They give up a lot less points. They're much better in the run. They're much better in run defense. They're much better in pass defense. I feel like Cowboys are going to have to use a lot of play action pass, get them off kilter. We're going to need to find a way to neutralize Chris Jones because he's their best defensive player. He's having a solid year. And keys to this game today is going to be running the football, using that play action pass, utilizing George Pickens, utilizing Javonte Williams, and being a little bit more run heavy. I feel like inside the red zone is really going to help the Dallas Cowboys out. I feel like the pass happiness even last week cost us a few times, and we're very lucky the defense stepped up when they did because we would have lost once again because the offense was way too pass happy in the red zone, inside the 5 specifically, and that needs to stop. Cowboys need to run the ball more inside the red zone, and if they're going to use play action pass, that's great, but just don't do it as much in the red zone. So as long as we can minimize turnovers on offense, use the play action pass, get the ball running. I would say run the ball a lot inside the red zone. A lot more than what we have been, I would say. And minimize penalties. Cowboys have a shot. Defensively, I feel like it's going to be about getting after Patrick Mahomes. Quinnen Williams is going to have to step up today. Kenny Clark, Osa, those guys are going to have to step up today. I feel like our defensive ends need to be doing a little bit better job. Now, last week we did get some pressure with Jadeveon Clowney, but Clowney's going to need to get after Patrick Mahomes today. I feel like the number one thing is going to be getting after Patrick Mahomes, trying to force him into mistakes, force him into throwing bad passes, and trying to get this game, trying to take over the game early. Because Kansas City, you play in a close game with Patrick Mahomes versus Dak, you know that Patrick Mahomes is going to take advantage of that all day, every day. So I feel like getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes early, forcing him into mistakes, trying to stall the Kansas City offense and get our offense going early is going to be key. I feel like on defense, we can get after Patrick Mahomes, stop that run game they got with Kareem Hunt, which I believe we can. We did it last week against the Eagles and Saquon. I believe we can do it again this week as long as we stay focused. We don't get a lot of penalties like holding, offside, stuff like that. And if we get a few turnovers or two, just like we did last week against the Eagles or just on Sunday, I feel like the Cowboys have a chance in this game. So I think the Cowboys have a chance if we can minimize the penalties on defense, get after Patrick Mahomes, stop the run early, get some turnovers, and if on offense we can get the ball going early, use a lot of play-action pass, use a lot of running game, and just, minimize penalties and turnovers on offense, then, Cowboys have a chance. But we got to get this done early. I don't want to go into a game with the Kansas City Chiefs where it comes down to we're tied at 20 or 21 or something like that. I'm just naming a score here. Going into the fourth because Pat Mahomes is going to get it done. So I don't want to get into that situation. I want to be ahead of the Chiefs early by at least 2 scores. I feel like that's going to be the key. So it's going to be a tough game today. Real test. Kansas City's got a better defense than Philly does. They're going to be a lot tougher, and they're going to be fighting hard. So who's going to want this more? We're going to find out. I'll catch you all after the game. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.